Hi, I'm Lou with another episode of My Car Story, and today we're at Geneva at their concourse, and they have some amazing cars. Lou, amazing, really. Well, I'm with Will and Steve.
Steve Haines.
Steve Haines, and Steve, let me do this. Will, what kind of car did you bring today?
Brought a 1936 Bentley, 4.5 liter.
1936 Bentley. Now, Steve, how long have you had this one?
So this one just a little over a year.
So why did you need the Bentley out of all the cars in the world?
Well, I have a couple of Rolls-Royce Silver Ghosts, and they say they're the best cars in the world, but Bentleys are wonderful too, so I had to have a Bentley.
Let's go right to our featured attraction. But Will, let me get one more question from you. When you've ridden in this car, what's the reaction?
Of course, everyone stops, takes pictures, and just memorized by it, and bring that old history back to the U.S. is just phenomenal to see everyone really enjoy all that.
How do you feel when you're riding in it?
Marvelous. That nothing like a old car versus a modern car. So
marvelous. I love that answer. So come on right alongside me, Steve, and let's take a look at that.
So that's the original registration number, EMF 115, that was put on the car when it was brand new over in Great Britain.
And this one, well, as you take a look at it, all of the detail. Now, you obviously drive this.
Oh yes, cars are meant to be driven, so we like to get out on the road.
And as I'm just close to it, I can feel the heat.
Yeah, we drove it up from the hotel about 5-6 miles away. So these cars tend to when you idle them for long periods of time, they tend to heat up a little bit. So you're probably still feeling that.
Yeah. And this one, I want to give it that look.
Bentley was known for the racing cars, so this is bodied in a Le Mans racing body.
Look at the brakes. The spokes. Now, you said you've had this just for a year.
Yes.
How did you come across this one? I mean, does the Bentley just the roping? Go ahead.
A good friend of mine called me up from Chicago here, and he knew I was looking for a Bentley, and unfortunately the prior caretaker of the car passed away, so the gentleman said you gotta give this other gentleman a call because it's a wonderful car. He knew it, and so the rest is history.
I just want to take a moment. So tell me what our on-off switch is. Kind of give me...
lights.
This is a clock.
Alternator clock. Got the tack.
What is this?
Air fuel pump. So
pump that to get our fuel pressure up.
Oil pressure. Tachometer, speedometer. Temperature for the water. So Bentley, they put the accelerator pedal in the middle between the clutch and the brake. So it's not. I have a car, a 1904 car, with the brake is on the right side. Far harder to drive than just an accelerator in the middle.
Got it. Did it take you any time adjusting?
Every car is a little different, so but you
quickly pick it up.
Yeah, it's like walking.
And look at the even the grating on the gas tank. Take a look at the exhaust, which we'll hear that in a second. I mean, I can see why you'd be excited about this one. This one's special. What was your reaction when you first saw it? I mean, it's one thing getting a picture of it, but when you actually see it in person.
Oh, it's just a wonderful car. It has great lines, runs wonderful. They're really meant to be driven hard, and I sometimes have that reputation, so it's perfect.
The perfect Bentley for you. Just wonderful. And all of the hardware, it looks brand spanking new. So you're sharing with me, this is kind of some new old stock.
So the serial number is RC44, and Bentley went out of business during the Depression in 1931 or so. and they sold the Rolls Royce, and the superintendent of Bentley still took care of all the service calls and whatever for Bentley, and so he had a bunch of new old stock parts that he was able to put 6 4.5-liter cars together, and they were finished in 1936. So it's all made of original Bentley pre-1931 parts that he put together in 1936, and there were 6 cars, and I think there's 4 or 5 remaining. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 lost.
Yeah, none of them probably were lost because you know how special. Now we have leather here.
It's cloth.
Cloth. So we have metal that goes into cloth. Can we take a look at? There are a spare tire on both sides. Can we take a look at each side of the engine?
How about one side of the engine?
What's fine. I know each side's a little different. One's got to be intake, one's got to be exhaust,
Yep.
right?
This is carburation side.
Okay. Which is a little more exciting. That is wonderful. Well, can you come here for a minute with us? Can you hold that while we fire it?
Oh, here, I'll put it right back there.
Okay. I just want to make sure it doesn't shake too much. So but just before we fire it, let me get some close-ups here. Our SU carburetors. Is there usually a plate inside the car, or is it just the one on the dash? Usually something up here that says Bentley to it.
Well, that's a good question.
I'm looking down on the engine. I don't see it on the other side.
There's a good Bentley right there.
Yeah, there's a good one there. RC44. Okay, let's fire, shall we? Listen to that idle for a second. That's beautiful. Can we just show the opposite side, because I know it's a little different than this one? Even like how the bend there for the distributor. Thank you. I'll give you a little bit to this story here. Here's where we're at. The Geneva show does such a wonderful job putting these together. If you like what you see, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. You can see here, which goes into there.
There you go.
And we'll show this side. That's perfect. Both sides.
Yeah, dual mags.
And just the work here is wonderful, isn't it? I mean, your oil.
Yep. Just to be in it.
Yeah. Just spectacular. All right, let's close that, shall we? Grab each other for a second. Guys, what a fun car. First of all, just a real piece of history. Thanks for being on the channel.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.